What up, though, people? Thank you for pushing play on the Lions Roar vlog. We are on. I was about to say Genesis. No, we're in that era, but we are on chapter 61 of the first book of Adam and Eve. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in. Chapter 60 is posted. If you want to know where we are, what happened in the previous chapter, go listen to it. And if you are just hearing me for the first time, then I started in Genesis. I went up to Genesis chapter 5. I've deviated down into the books of Adam and Eve. When I finish the two books of Adam and Eve, we're going to go back up to Genesis, finish at Genesis. We're going to go up to chapter 6 of Genesis, and we're going to start with the story of Noah, and we're going to continue on down the line of the Old Testament until the Most High has me deviate again. And because here's the thing, there are certain things that maybe just were not part of the original. Just certain things maybe just got moved around. You never know what happened. There's all this different stuff. Here's the interesting thing about the history of this book, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into the reading. And you can listen to the introduction to hear the history. You can listen to the introduction to hear the history. It's posted in the playlist. The books of Adam and Eve, the one that says introduction, you can learn something about the history of this book. I find it very interesting that the original, when they found the books of Adam and Eve in Egyptian, okay? Now, they have been translated by doctors, by theologians, and different, they were first translated into Arabic from Egyptian. And then it went into Ethiopia, and then different, doctors and theologians got like people who have went and got major degrees, like for years, 8 years of advanced school to know about these things. And the English version that I'm reading is because one of those types of PhD guys took it and brought it into English. But I find it very interesting that it's originally in Egyptian. What I think happened is the Egyptians ended up with it when them ones ended up in Canaan and in Egypt. And once they really kind of start pressing down on them and enslaving them and probably taking all of their information and different things like that, that's how the Egyptians ended up with it. And that's why it wasn't with the Hebrews per se, because the Egyptians are like, we're not about to teach them that part. We're not about to take that. And then there's certain other parts that's like kind of like not blanket, but it kind of has a trajectory that's like, well, we can know these things because the Hebrews were great at handing down things audibly. They're great oratories. They are great at making sure that things pass down mouth to mouth to mouth. So the specifics of the books of Adam and Eve, if they would have belonged to the Egyptians way up early in the beginning of their enslavement, then that's why even though like the main parts, like, hey, in the beginning, Yahweh created the heaven and the earth, and we know we have the basics. Like, we know what happened, and then Noah. And from there, for sure, like, we can pair this because, well, hey, some of us still here in the continuation of them. So, like, we know, okay? But the specifics would have been lost with earlier generations, especially when the culture at large that oppressed you takes the information and keeps it away from you on purpose. And they definitely try to make sure that you don't audibly hand it down. Even though you like, well, we may not be able to remember all the stuff about Adam and Eve, but let's make sure that we try to remember whatever we can, because if it's stripped away, because they did have ways of, getting things down, but it wasn't efficient. Maybe it's on the stone, just like with how they say Moses carved that thing into the stone. Papyrus paper wasn't even around. You understand? They would have had to use what they had. They was trying to figure it out. Paper ain't come till later when they was breaking the trees, all that. Okay? See, the papyrus is in itself is just the fact that they were able to figure out how to make it even be something they could write on was just amazing, spectacular. Look at the history of papyrus paper. It's like, anyhow, I didn't left a whole long commentary, but the Spirit said, leave it there. And for the people who are interested, they're going to listen. I'm not really worried about the people who going to leave out the video in the first 3 minutes anyway. So if you're still here, let's jump into chapter 61 of the first book of Adam and Eve. They began to follow Satan. You know where we are right now because you've been following. If you've been following, if you haven't, go listen to the previous chapter. Then he took Adam and Eve by the hand and began to bring them out of the cave. But when they were come a little way out of it, God knew that Satan had overcome them and had brought them out so that the 40 days were ended to take them to some distant place and destroy them. Then the word of the Most High again came and cursed Satan and drove him away from them. And God began to speak unto Adam and Eve. The Most High began to speak unto Adam and Eve, saying to them, what made you come out of the cave unto this place? Then Adam said to the Most High, then Adam said to God, did thou create a man before us? For when we were in the cave, there suddenly came in unto us a good old man who said to us, I am a messenger from God unto you to bring you back to some place of rest. And we did believe, O God, Most High, Highest One, that he was a messenger from thee, and we came out with him and knew not whither we should go with him. And we didn't know if we should go. Like, they were confused. They didn't know. And remember, he tricked them real good, right? Then God said unto Adam, see that he is the father of evil arts, who brought thee and Eve out of the garden of delights. And now, indeed, when he saw that thou and Eve both joined together in fasting and praying, and that you came not out of the cave before the end of the 40 days, he wished to make your purpose vain, to break your mutual bond, to cut off all hope from you, and to drive you to some place where he might destroy you. I wonder if them fasting back then would have been way more potent. And for 40 days, that may have been enough to make the Most High say, okay, well, check this out. Yeah, let's try this. Okay? Because you see what's being said here. I just wonder that. I don't know. We can't say that for sure. I just wonder. Because he was unable to do that to you unless he was unable to do aught to you. He couldn't do it unless he showed himself in the likeness of you. Therefore did he come to you with a face like your own and began to give you tokens as if they were all true. Remember, like I told you, he was weaving. Like, man, nice gold. Oh, they just fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. But I in mercy, and with the favor I had unto you, did not allow him to destroy you, but I drove him away from you. Now, therefore, O Adam, take Eve and return to your cave and remain in it until the morrow of the 40th day. Go back to your room. and then when you get out, go toward the eastern gate of the garden. Then Adam and Eve worshiped God, worshiped the Most High, and praised and blessed him for the deliverance that had come to them from him. And they returned towards the cave. This happened at eventide of the 39th day. Then Adam and Eve stood up with great zeal. 39th, like the date. Remember, they're fasting, not 39 days from, because remember, they're more like in like 80th days, but they're saying this happened around the 39th day of the fast. Then Adam and Eve stood up with great zeal, prayed to the Most High to be brought out of their wants, for strength, for their strength had departed them. So they wanted strength. It's old English, y'all. It wasn't written in old English, but just bear with me, okay? I didn't do it. I didn't do it. To be brought out of their want for strength. For their strength had departed them through hunger and thirst and prayer. But they watched the whole of that night praying until morning. Then Adam said unto Eve, arise, let us go towards the eastern gates of the garden, as Yahweh told us, as the Most High told us. Yahweh means the highest one, okay? Most High. And they said their prayers as they were to do every day, to make sure that they didn't forget. It says as they were wont to do every day, meaning they made sure to not forget, like I just said. And they went out of the cave to go near to the eastern gate of the garden. Then Adam and Eve stood up and prayed and besought the Most High to strengthen them and to send them something to satisfy their hunger. But when they had ended their prayers, they remained where they were by reason of their failing strength. But when they had finished their prayers, they remained where they were by reason of their failing strength. Like they couldn't even, they strength was failing them. Then came the word of the Most High again and said unto them, O Adam, arise, go and bring here 2 figs. Then Adam and Eve arose and went until they drew near to the cave. So I'm guessing here that they, maybe he's like, look, it's some figs, go have at it, And they say them figs back then were massive, like watermelons, like they were huge. So you never know, like what that was all about. But so he's like, look, there goes some figs, go eat them, get back. Go ahead, take that trip. And that's where you're gonna get your strength back. They're not understanding this because they're not used to it. Okay, because as we've been studying, their state changed. Remember, their state changed, so they didn't have to eat. Now, or if when they did eat, it wasn't for energy, it wasn't for strength, it was for pleasure, because the Most High wanted them to enjoy this earth and the fullness thereof. However, now it's like they have to have an understanding of their bodies feeling depleted and feeling weak because they haven't eaten. That's not even spiritual. That's just now starting to become their new state now in the biological state. In the upright Homo erectus state, if you will. Okay, they need that energy to have their strength up. We're going to go ahead and jump into chapter 62 real fast. It's only 6 verses, and then that's going to be this video. But Satan, the wicked, was envious because of the consolation that the Most High had given them. In the previous video, or a few videos ago, no, I think it was the previous video, I talked about that. Even Lucifer, like you see it. We just read it. You can even see it. He didn't even want them to have no consolation. Remember when he said, well, unless the Most High lets them back into the in the garden, if they complete their fast, maybe he might have pity on them. Maybe he might show them mercy, let them back in the garden. Or maybe he might even just console them with something from the garden. He don't even want them to have no comfort. The lying, evil, hating, manipulative, demon, dark devil, stink, airhead. So he prevented them and went into the cave and took the 2 figs and buried them outside the cave so that Adam and Eve should not find them. He also had in his thoughts to destroy them. And so he goes and takes their food and buries it. So they took maybe they was eating the figs on the way and they had some left over. They're like, hey, we're going to take this with us. They starting to get smart now. He's like, so I don't know what that Lucifer was on, dog. Like, we know it was other beings around. All right. So let's keep going. But God's mercy, as soon as those 2 figs were in the earth, God defeated Satan's counsel regarding them and made them into 2 fruit trees that overshadowed the cave, for Satan had buried them on the eastern side of it. Wow, that's very interesting. Then when the 2 trees were grown and were covered with fruit, Satan grieved and mourned and said, better were it to have left those figs as they were, for now, behold, they have become 2 fruit trees. It's 2 fruit trees now. Y'all remember on The Pursuit of Happiness when he was supposed to have been selling them machines, the X-ray machines, and he goes to get Jaden from school, Jaden's character from school, and Jaden looks at him and he's like, Dad, you were supposed to only he's like, you were supposed to sell those. And he's like, you have 2 of them now. That's how Satan said, there's two of them now. I should have just left them alone. So they have become two fruit trees, whereof Adam will eat all the days of his life. Whereas I had in mind, when I buried them, to destroy them entirely and to hide them and to hide them from you. I guess just hide them from you. I don't know what AYE. I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's old English. Like I said, let's keep reading. But God, the Most High, has overturned my counsel and would not that this sacred fruit should perish. He didn't want the sacred fruit to perish, so he didn't let it happen. He willed not. And he has made plain my intention and has defeated the counsel I have formed against his servants. This is something that Satan said to himself. Then Satan went away ashamed of not having wrought out his design. He a hater so much to the point to where he's now basking in the fact that he failed in hating on them properly. The devil is such a hater spirit energy. That's how you know who got the devil in them for real. Big haters, oh, they got the devil in them for real. They got that dark one in them for real. That's how you know right there. All that jealous, hating, dark, one of manipulative, slanderous, backbiting energy. And even the energy that would sit back and say, man, we ain't turned them into a victim this time, man. We messed up. How can we get better next time? So we can victimize them better. Yeah, Satan is definitely manifest in the world of humans, because them humans running around here on some evil junk, they act just like what he be acting like as we read throughout this book. All right, so that's it. That's chapter 62 of the first book of Adam and Eve. Hit that subscription button, hit the notification bell, man. So every time these videos come out, you're notified. All right, I know I took a break. That was by design. I went 3 months straight. All right, I took a break. Last week, I gotta get back into the groove, because last week I only posted twice, I think. And I need to make sure that I'm hitting off on each time. So I'm posting these on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and eventually it's going to go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so it's going to end up being 4 days. Okay, and that's it. Y'all be blessed. Thank you for coming back. We're going to go ahead and jump into chapter 63. Peace.